show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject custom Kevin Conso Papa Conso Felino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and
Hey. Welcome to Wanna Bet. We are excited to have you guys with us as always. It'll be Ben and I on today's show. Ben coming in off an absolute heater last night. I did not have a great night in the MLB. Only had one play here on Wanna Bet. I'm a transparent guy. Had a couple on the Discord, our super Discord. You can go to our YouTube or our Twitter handles and find out more about that. It's right in our Twitter bios, the link. Did not have a great night on Discord last night, but there's some games I feel great about. Today, we've got the return of Gold Cup soccer tonight. We've got the NBA draft right around the corner, and we've definitely been monitoring that situation. We'll have an interesting discussion about that. And fourth down, we will get into how we're playing the Houston Astros. Don't look now. The Astros are back. And we'll obviously have our three favorite plays of the day, as always, on first, second, and third down. But Beltway Ben, let the people know what you were up to last night.
Yeah, very big night. Also on the Discord, to be exact, because I of course, we only give out the three plays here. On the Discord, it was 6-0 night for me.
Wowzers.
And we have Trout. We had Trout over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Didn't have a hit. Walked twice, scored 2 runs and cash for us. That is one of the reasons that I value hits, runs, and RBIs over total bases. And it was like, he wasn't getting anything to hit. Bueller, he's got great numbers against Bueller. Bueller's throwing around him. It's just, you pay a little bit more juice sometimes. But again, last night happens a solid amount compared to a couple of sharp lineouts that you end up losing.
Yeah, super sharp play on Kobe Mayo there and Abreu. No, great night all along. You're closing the gap on me, by the way, Ben. You're closing the gap on me, man.
We're killing it, though. As
it's
a team,
cyclical. It's cyclical. No, that's the thing. And the nights that I've been a little off, you've been great. Or
when I was down,
our guest has been great, or whatever. So, that's why we kind of are trying to foster community here. And really, the guests we bring them on to talk about what they know the best and what they're most confident in. But again, it is gambling, so it's always with caution. And again, I limited to my discretionary income, and I hope you're able to do the same. And if you're not, then I hope, you're able to get some help. Everything in moderation. All right, Beltway Ben, you are on the heater. You have the honors. First down.
Yes. First down, we will go to the WNBA.
Nice.
And this is a very weird line to me, just because I feel like it should be at least a point higher, maybe 2. She's over in 4 of her last 5 and 10 of 14 games this season for Brionna Jones. Terp, she's a Terp. We're big Terps fans here, so big fan of her. But Dallas has one of the worst front courts in the WNBA. They're dealing with injuries. They're dealing with players' absences because a few players in the league are now going overseas, and they're committed to that. They're probably getting paid a little bit more there. Yep. So we're seeing some, players go over there, and it's hurting a number of teams. But she should play 26 to 30 minutes. And one play that a lot of people were looking at today is Brittney Griner, because again, Brittney Griner is the center, Brionna Jones is the 4. But the difference here, Griner's a mismatch defensively. Like, if Griner cannot stick with what Dallas has, they're very comfortable sliding Jones into the 5 spot, keeping Griner off the court, and letting that work because Jones can adjust a little bit better, where Griner's more of a mismatch. But if you look at their last 3 games, the Mystics, Irafin and Austin combined for 40 points. They both cleared. Tina Charles against the Sun scored 26 points. Monique Billings against Golden State scores 18. So, forwards and 5s are beating them a bunch this season. Like I said, Dallas has some tough guards. They're a little bit down this year, and they're probably going to need a full rebuild. They have Paige, of course, which is good, but they are headed in a full rebuild. So I do think Brionna Jones does some damage tonight and goes over 12.5 points at -113.
My first down play, I'm going to the Gold Cup, but not the matches tonight. I got a lot of plays on the matches tonight on the Discord. I've given out plays on both matches tonight here. I do like Panama on the money line over Jamaica. I like Canada to lead after 30 minutes against El Salvador. Those odds have changed quite dramatically, though, since I gave them to you. That's why we're going to jump on Costa Rica and U.S. now. And I get it, this game isn't until the weekend. But I like the odds here quite a bit, actually. So this is to draw in regulation time. Now we're in the knockout stage of the Gold Cup. So someone's going to win, whether it's in extra time or whether it's in penalties. And some people will look at this and say, well, why would you get on Costa Rica now, right? Like Ugalde, 23-year-old striker for them, plays at Spartak Moscow, is really in form. He scored 3 goals in this tournament. He's on a yellow card suspension. He can't play in this match. Mora, one of their better midfielders, yellow card accumulation, can't play in this match. And that's actually why I'm playing it to draw. Because if you look at Miguel Herrera, the coach of Costa Rica, who has coached Mexico before in this region, a very established national team coach, he's going to play 5 in the back. And he's going to play 5 in the back with even less of an attacking thrust, given what he's missing personnel-wise. And I think he'll be okay to see this through 0-0 or 1-1 and take his chances poaching it late. I think he'll be content to sit back and try to hit a counter or two and take a U.S. team that hasn't had much buildup and say, all right, is Adams really in form? Like, how many is he going to play 90 minutes? And I know it's in Minnesota, so we're not dealing with the extreme heat. But, like, is he going to be able to go deep? Like, can they build their attack through Diego Luna? Like, it's really only been Malik Tillman who's hit the back of the net for the U.S., and I don't think Herrera is going to let him beat him. And I think Herrera, again, is not out for style points. All the pressure's on the U.S. The U.S. has been scoring goals, but this is a step up in quality of play. And Costa Rica just had a 0-0 draw with Mexico. I think they hit the woodwork a couple times. Like, they deserve to win that match as much as Mexico. There was a controversial offsides late in the game that went Costa Rica's way, but like, I think Herrera, who's never beaten the U.S. as a national team manager, like, I think he'll see this for what it is. And also, Navas, the keeper for Costa Rica, he's not in the form he once was when he was on top of the world at Real Madrid or PSG, but he's having a hell of a tournament. And he gets in people's heads, and he still is a little bit of a larger-than-life figure in this region. And for a U.S. team that doesn't have a true number 9, that doesn't have established international strikers or really attacking midfielders available to them, guys who have gotten it done at the international level, I think he's going to get in their heads. I'm not sure that the U.S. is going to score from the run of play. I don't think they will. And scoring on set pieces in the air against Costa Rica is going to be a little tougher than some of these other teams in the region. So for that price right now, give me a draw in regulation. I think the U.S. probably goes through in extra time. If it weren't for those 2 yellow cards, I would be on Costa Rica to win this match. Second down, Beltway, Ben.
Yeah, second down, we are going to go to the MLB. And there's a lot of juice here, so you don't love it. But I'm going to go with the Padres on the money line at -168. And another play that I am giving out now, it will be on the Discord as well, but I am counting this to my record. The first 7 Padres team total over 3.5. You get it a down a run from the full game. I think they win. So you're basically just cutting out 1 inning as long as they're winning. Trevor Williams is on the mound for the Nationals. And quite honestly, he sucks. Like, there's no way around it. He's got given up 2 earned runs or less in 3 straight outings. But in terms of that, Colorado, Miami, Texas, and they were all at home. This is in San Diego. That crowd's pretty crazy. The Padres got Burgert on the mound, and he's been awesome as a starter in his rookie season, right? 4 games as a reliever. They let him go. He didn't give up a run. 4 just 1-inning outings. And then all of a sudden they move him into the rotation at the start of June, and he's given up 5 earned runs in 4 starts. So he's pitching well. They got him a little bit of a pitch count, but this Padres bullpen is one of the best in baseball, right? Top 5, 3.4 ERA. And you go to the Nats bullpen, 5.95 ERA. If they want to go Trevor Williams 4 1/3, 4 2/3 and pull him, they're screwed that way. And if he does stay in and just kind of sucks it up, I don't expect him to throw a quality start against this Padres team, right? Like, I just don't. When you look 1 through 9 of what they can do, I don't see how he limits them. So I like the Padres to win. And again, if you didn't hear it before, their team total in the first 7 over 3.5 at -110.
Love it. And somehow the Padres didn't hit Mitchell Parker last night. So I think they'll be up for it. I think they'll be up for it tonight. My second down, and as I just checked the MLB app, there is not a probable for the Dodgers, and I don't care. The Dodgers will be bullpenning it together. They'll be doing what they have to do at Coors Field, but give me the Dodgers on the run line. This Dodgers team in this form against a horrible Rockies team with Marquez on the mound who stinks. We'll get to him in a minute. And I'm getting this at $1.50. That's just I have to do that. Like, that's just a pure philosophical, like, that's too much value for me to pass in a slate of MLB games that I didn't love. Beltway Ben, the Colorado Rockies are the only team this year yet to win a game coming off a day off. They are 0-8 off a day off with a run differential of 18-45. They're getting outscored basically 3-1 in every game they play coming off a day off. They have a 585 OPS as a team, the Rockies do, off a day off. That is 29th in baseball. Now, the Dodgers, I'm not going to lie to you, 650 OPS off a day off. That's not great. But this is an informed Dodgers lineup at Coors Field against Marquez, who's terrible. He's allowed 26 runs in his last 6 starts against the Dodgers, and in many of them, he's only gone 3 innings or so. Last time out, in case you missed it, he lasted 2/3 of an inning at Dodger Stadium. He gave up 7 earned runs in that period of time at Chavez Ravine. We're talking about a cat with an ERA north of 6. Been a little better lately, but he's bad, and he's been bad in his career against the Dodgers. Look, if you want the Dodgers team total, I thought about going here. It's priced at 7.5. I thought about taking it down to 6.5. The Dodgers have scored 59 runs in their last 9 games. And in their 3 previous against Colorado, they scored 5, 6, and 8. But ultimately, I think they can beat up on the starter. I think they can beat up on the reliever. And even if it skews a little lower scoring, I like the value on the run line. So that's where I am. For third down, Beltway Ben, the money down.
Yeah, we're going to head back to the WNBA here on third down, and it's a play that some might be familiar with. I'm going to go with Kelsey Plum over 19.5 points at -124, and I say some might be familiar with because a few weeks ago we gave her 3s out in the same matchup, and she cashed against the Sky. We gave out 2.5 3s. Today we're just going with the points. The 3s are still at 2.5, but if she goes over the 2.5 3s, she should cash her point total. Opponents are shooting 41% from beyond the arc on 27.5 attempts against the Sky this season. So it's the worst in the NBA, and it's the most they're allowing. It's the best percentage. Teams are knocking down 3s against them. She's one of the best scorers and shooters in the WNBA. Like I said, last time they played, we took her 3s. She went for 25 points. So cleared the 3s, knocked down a bunch of shots, and went for 25 points. We only need 20 tonight. She's going to play a ton of minutes, 36.3 minutes per game in her last 3 outings. So she's over this in just 2 of 7 of their last games. So that's probably a thing that's getting people to stay away and why we're not getting as juiced of a number, but it's all about the matchup here. Chicago has Angel Reese. They have Cardoso playing in her final game before she goes overseas. They're tight inside, but when you look outside, guards give them a ton of issues. So I think Kelsey Plum gets it going tonight. She's a vet. She's been around the league a bunch, and she knows what she has to do. And the Sparks, they're not a very good team. They've played bad this year, but these are the matchups they have to steal. They have to win. And like I said, when you have Hamby playing inside, I don't think she has a big scoring game tonight. Rakia Jackson's been good shooting the ball. She's been solid since coming back from injury, but the most consistent scorer is Kelsey Plum. So I like her over 19.5 points.
Excellent. Third down for me. I'm staying in MLB. If you watch the show regularly, I've been attacking Tarik Skubal starts in different ways. And we're going to go with here. First 5 run line under 4. I'll risk the push, but I prefer this to the 3.5. And the 4.5 is just priced too high for me to see the value there. Beltway Ben, Tarik Skubal in the first 5 innings of home starts has a 1.13 ERA. That's top 3 in MLB because how could it not be? Tarik Skubal at Tiger Stadium this season, 69 strikeouts to 5 walks in 52 2/3 innings pitched. This A's lineup, I think they're going to have their hands full. If you look at Skubal's 8 starts at home, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are under or at this total. And look, Severino on the road for the A's is different than Severino at home.
Yes.
Severino despises pitching in Sacktown. The ball carries at Sacktown. This is a big park in Detroit. I think it's going to play to his strengths. Severino's got a 0.93 ERA on the road. I know it's only 5 starts, but still. The league is batting 194 against him on the road with a 0.96 whip. The A's are 23-15 to the under on the road first five total. So that's top 5 in baseball. They've also gone under in 6 straight road games. Severino's road starts, Beltway Ben. Here's the score after 5 innings. 3-1 A's. They ain't getting 3 off Skubal. 3-2 A's. I don't think they're getting 3 off Skubal. 6-0 A's. They're not getting 6 off Skubal. 1-1, 1-1, and 1-0. That's Severino on the road. So that's where I am on this game. Obviously, strikeouts, you can always look to that. They really want to make you pay for it. But I think we get a low-scoring game here early. Tigers' offense is good, but it's a little bit streaky, and I think Severino can use that ballpark to help himself out. Okay, 4th and long. This is where we talk about a long shot bet or a play with odds that you can't cash in on for a long time, hence 4th and long. And today we're going to discuss the sneaky Houston Astros, those trash can bangers, those cockroaches who won't go away. Beltway Ben, this time a year ago, I thought we'd seen the best of them. And then around the middle of April, I thought we'd seen the best of them. Don't look now, Beltway Ben. But since April 15th, the Houston Astros have the 4th best ERA in the majors, and they have the 4th best OPS in the American League. We can size them up versus the field. The AL West, right, is probably the worst division in the American League. I think it's the worst division in the American League. Like, unless the Rangers stand up soon, I think it's the worst division in the American League. So there's that. So they can beat up on teams there. And then you look at the other division winners. I'm bullish on Detroit. I was all on Detroit's futures to maybe like to win the division, to go over their win total, to maybe make the World Series, maybe. But that's a young Detroit team. I mean, Hinch versus Houston in the playoffs, that would be something. Houston has all that I know they've lost some dudes, but there's a lot of institutional know-how there. They're not above cheating. And I think that would be a tough matchup for the Tigers. And then there's the Yankees, who I think Brian Cashman believes the Savages in the box that he saw the first, 8 weeks of the season. I think he believes that that's who they are. I'm not sure that's who they are. I'm not sure that version of Grisham really exists. I'm not sure that you're going to trust Volpe in the playoffs. Like, I'm not sure you're going to trust Ben Rice in the playoffs. I'm not sure that Stanton's not going right back to the IL in the next couple of weeks. And when they were doing that, Judge was hitting 400. I'm very sure Judge isn't going to hit 400. They lose one more starting pitcher, the margins get slim. And Beltway Ben, I don't think Cashman is an assassin at the deadline. I think Dana Brown will go for it more than Cashman will. They like to keep their prospects. Now Spencer Jones is hitting in Double-A. He's only been there for 2 years. Like, I just think they lean into, we got it all figured out internally. I like these odds on the Astros to go to the World Series. What do you think of the Stros?
Yeah, it's a semi punt. Kind of like yesterday where I talked about I will be playing them at plus 140 to get a first-round bye in the MLB AL playoffs. Basically, you need to be top 2. The 3rd division winner, of course, has to play in the wild card. But I'm not buying the Yankees, as you just said. And the Tigers could very well fall down. The Astros, they're 14-6 in June. And you look through their lineup. Jeremy Pena, 873 OPS, leads the team in majority of categories. Sorry, Astros fans, he just signed with Scott Boras yesterday, changed agents. But it's for good reason because he's been mashing the baseball, and he knows he is going to get paid. Altuve's Altuve. He's a bit down, but he's going to figure it out. You know what he gives you. Jake Myers, slashing 310, 369, 404. They never really expected that from him. Mauricio Dubon's got 4 home runs in his last 7 games. That's going to come down, but he's hitting in the 9 spot for him. He can take bases. He plays a good field. You can put him anywhere, outfield, infield. He does it all. And then the Yordan Alvarez thing scares me. He suffered a setback. They found a small fracture in his hand. How much longer is he going to be out? Probably a few months. So if he was in the lineup, it would because Christian Walker's down. Is Christian Walker going to be down all year?
No, he's going to turn it around the second half.
He has to. Isaac Paredes, he started slow. He's starting to turn things around. This lineup with Yordan Alvarez is terrifying again. And moving Kyle Tucker was head scratching, and I was just pretty confident they should try to get a deal done, but they didn't think they could. They move him, and as I said, Paredes is playing good baseball. Then you look at their 1-2. Hunter Brown's sub-2 ERA, one of the best pitchers in the MLB. Not just the AL right now, the MLB. He's a dog. He wants the ball. He's not asking to come out at 91 pitches like some of these other guys in the MLB. Not worried about that. He takes the ball and he tries to win, goes 6 innings, strikes out 10-plus batters. He's that guy. Framber's Framber, right? We've seen it in the past. There'll be a few outings. He's going to get hit around a little bit. But for the most part, he's going to give you 6 to 7 strong innings. Some games will go into the 9th. We see him do it pretty regularly. And he's been healthy, so that's pretty big for Framber. Those are their 2. Behind them, shaky a little bit. But again, I like what they have there. And for them to make a little bit of a run, the Yankees are playing awful baseball right now. And you could say, well, this is all right now. We're saying this because of what's happened the past few weeks, but things are starting to heat up in the MLB. And as you said, I'm more confident that the Astros will go out and add something helpful than the Yankees adding some big name, because that's probably what they're going to do. A big name guy that is on the back end of his career, that everybody gets excited because they hear the name and doesn't really result in anything. They're talking about Luis Gil. That's going to be one of their big trade deadline acquisitions. How long till he's back on the IL, right? He's had 2 Tommy Johns. I'm just not fully buying the Yankees. I do like the Astros to, I don't know, win the AL, but I do like them to get a first-round bye.
You mentioned Tucker, and this reminds me of the year. Remember when Tucker was only supposed to be out a couple months, and then he missed basically 4 months, but they knew they were getting him back, and they held serve, and then they did what they do. It gets real. It's money time. We take over the final 8 weeks of the season. We win the division. We set ourselves up for the playoffs. And if they think Jordan's behind schedule, he doesn't go out and get Ryan O'Hearn or something like that to have one more quality left-handed back. And if Ryan O'Hearn is a spare part in the playoffs, who cares? We got him coming off the bench. I think we're going to be talking a lot about the Astros in the baseball world as we get closer to September, and that whatever that window was, it ain't closed yet. Overtime, Beltway Ben, the NBA draft, it's tomorrow night. I'm still having trouble getting my head around that. It's tomorrow night. Ace Bailey is obviously the topic du jour. We'll get to Ace in a minute because I've made a play on Ace. You and I are collaborating with our buddy Seth Davis over at Hoops HQ. Check those guys out at Hoops HQ on Twitter. They're doing amazing stuff chronicling college basketball. We're going to be providing betting content for them. You and I collaborated on a column that's up there at Hoops HQ now. We've also, it's on our Twitters as well. 3 plays we made for the NBA draft. I was more bullish on Ace than you, and we'll get there. But what do you like playing here in the NBA draft as these markets continue to shift and shape?
Yeah, one of my favorite plays. And again, this is moving very quickly. I've seen it to minus 150 at some places, but I got it at minus 130 last night. At midnight, it was still right around there on DraftKings. Knipple in the top 5. 4, and listen, you want to get specific, take him to go number 4 plus money. It's still plus money right now. Played in Charlotte's backyard in Durham. And, this is a safe pick. They went pretty risky last year with Salawan, and the jury's still out on him. But they will go safe here. You look at their team, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller. Look at what they have in the front court, right? Bridges, Mark Williams. Why does Knipple not fit here? This is probably the best shooter in this draft, maybe. I know Johnson, great shooter, but Knipple's a sharp shooter. And one thing with him that, he doesn't finish well around the rim, but he can facilitate. He can handle the ball. And we saw it. Flag goes down, and Flag, of course, is a 3, but Flag was handling the ball a lot there. He can do that, right? He can play make. He can do all these types of things, and it's just super safe pick to me. He's not the most athletic guy, but he did test well at the combine. Just for the top 5, and you're going to get to Ace Bailey in a second. I don't know, how much that will impact it, because that does scare me a little bit. Just whatever happens with Bailey, does that, push Knipple out? Or do they still go safe with him? Like I said, of all the guys in, the 3 to 5 area, Knipple might be the safest pick. I just don't see, the floor, it's not super low. This guy's going to knock down threes. And you look at what he did at Duke. This isn't a guy coming from Murray State or somewhere small where in the Ohio Valley, he played fine.
Right.
No, he played in the ACC. He showed up in the NCAA tournament. Oh, Cooper Flag went down? We talked about it in our article. He benefited from that because he showed up when that happened. Everybody's so big on Flag, and it makes sense at Duke. But if you watch Duke play, Knipple meant so much to that team. Showed up in the conference tournament. He showed up in the NCAA tournament. And again, when you have a guy like LaMelo Ball that can handle the basketball, he might deal with some injuries. Okay. Knipples are 2/3, but he can handle the rock. We saw him do it at Duke. We're comfortable keeping him out there, when LaMelo Ball goes down. But when LaMelo Ball is on the court, he's going to get him a ton of good looks in year 1. I just think it's a super safe play. And a minus 130, there's a lot of buzz around it, which is why we're slowly starting to see those odds change. But Charlotte just makes so much sense. And again, I would play it. Right now it's at plus 115. but this is a safe pick for them. I think he goes in the top 5.
That brings us to Ace Bailey, and you and I spent a considerable part of our afternoon after we finished Wanna Bet yesterday discussing this as we wrote that column for Hoops HQ. At this time yesterday, you could find Ace Bailey plus 240 to go in the top 5 and plus 240 to go 6th overall to the Wizards. Good luck finding him to go for plus money in the top 5 now. It's minus 180 at a lot of places and dropping. And look, I'm 51 years old. I've been covering professional sports and in locker rooms and talking to general managers and dealing with agents since I was around 19 years old. That's a long time. I covered NHL drafts. I've covered MLB drafts. I've covered a lot of NFL drafts. And you just kind of learn to develop spidey senses and you learn to develop instincts. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm an NBA insider or college basketball information insider. I'm not. But there's some I trust and others I don't. And I think I have a pretty discerning eye. And I consume a lot and I filter a lot. And I filter it through my internal bullshit meter. And this Ace Bailey stuff reached a level to where I was telling Ben like a week ago, dude, this is not passing my sniff test. Like, when more of these odds populate, I'm going to be on Ace Bailey because this feels almost too contrived. It feels too over the top. And frankly, I kind of think in some quarters, it was the NBA media trying to, like, coming off the Shedeur Sanders thing and like, oh my God, that story had legs before the draft, through the draft. It was the biggest story all 3 days of the draft. And now it's still kind of a huge story. Like, I just feel like that fueled a little bit of this Ace Bailey. The kid got terrible advice. The kid's agent seems to be in way over his head and not have an understanding of how to manage the messaging and develop relationships and couch things the right way. He's definitely turned a lot of people off. He's also a top 4 at worst talent in this draft, and talent rules all. And this kid was not getting suspended left and right at Rutgers, right? We bet a lot of college basketball games. There was a lot of funky line movement and weird lines throughout that season because kids were getting disciplined we didn't know about. There were kids who were involved in betting scandals we didn't know about, and it was craziness all over. Not with Rutgers. Made a lot of money on Rutgers. You kind of knew what you were going to get with Rutgers. Like, I just don't buy it, Beltway Ben. So, yeah, I thought all along he's going top 5. Someone will trade up. If he gets past 4, somebody's going to trade to 5 and go get him. And I still think that's going to happen. But there's no value in that anymore. So, if he does slip, you're telling me he gets past the Wizards? Like, I just don't buy it. I don't. How could they, where they are in their rebuild and where they keep getting effed in these lotteries? You're telling me that they're going to let a top 3 potential talent in this draft with a rebuild that's still years away get by them? For who? Why? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't buy it. Now, again, I don't think he'll be there. I think he's going in the top 5. I've always thought he's going in the top 5. The stuff we were hearing about him, the negatives, were not nearly negative enough for me to think that the talent won't trump all. What do you think?
Quite honestly, first off, before I get into my details, I mean, if you guys heard the conversation we were having yesterday, I mean, Jason was pretty loud. Like, it was a very good conversation about this doesn't make sense. He's going to go top 5. Well, 12 hours later, we see the drastic odds movement, and it's crazy Jason was saying it. But I would like it to be known, if Bailey somehow falls to the Wizards, this will be a second straight year where a player's forced their way to a certain spot. Jason, 25 to 30 minutes away from my house, will hear me celebrating because I keep telling everybody that the Wizards are on the come up. But in all reality, I personally have stayed away. And Jason did make the point, the NBA media. There are people that watch the NBA, that just watch 7 games finals, who are just today finding out the drafts tomorrow. Quite honestly, this is not a joke. I see it all over social media. How are we seeing the NBA draft go this way? And again, someone like myself who follows very closely, it crept up on you, and it's just so weird how quick it developed, and now we're already there. So nobody's really been talking about it much. But the one thing that they have been talking about is this right here. Ace Bailey. You haven't talked about number 1. Everybody knows Flag's going number 1. You haven't talked about Harper. Ace Bailey has been the topic, and it's good for the NBA. Everybody wants to see who's going to trade up to try to get him. How is it going to go? I've decided I'm not in. I don't want to risk because I just don't know what to believe. However, to Jason's point about his talent and how You know what we did see about him at Rutgers? That he was sick on the bench in a game. Like that was when he was held out. It wasn't because he had an attitude. It wasn't because he was sick on the bench. Quite honestly, I think he has the highest upside in this draft. And it might sound crazy. He might have the highest upside in this draft. I mean, he's an elite shooter from anywhere on the court. He's got great size. He can play above the rim. He's played great defense. He's going to have to put more weight on in the NBA. But, like, this is a guy that a year and a half ago, we're discussing who is it going to be number one and who's it going to be number two between him and Flag. That was a long discussion. He goes to Rutgers, and he had some of those games, right? He put up, 35, 40 points? He had some of those games where it's like, that's why you take him number one. But then he also had games where he scored 6 points. And you have to understand in college, this kid is 19 years old. That will happen. Like, those types of things will happen. I don't understand why the agent, whose son, Sharif Cooper, was involved in the draft just a few years ago. I don't know why he's playing it the way he is. I know he wants to go somewhere where Ace is going to shoot the ball out. Washington, we'll welcome you. But, like, it's a weird situation. I do side with Jason that a guy with his talent falling out of the top 5, that's not a normal thing. And it's weird to think that it's possible. But if it does happen, like Jason said, there is no possible way. And I mean this. If he gets through 5, the Wizards are at 6. They will be drafting him. And if they don't, you can hear it now, my fandom will be done. If Ace Bailey is available at 6 and the Wizards pass on him, it's quite possible. Like, is it possible? Maybe. I don't see how it happens. Ace Bailey, I talked about the upside, right? You're not finding guys like him. And the Wizards, who you just mentioned, get screwed every single year in the lottery, and they get him a chance at 6. I personally think they trade up, or the Jazz trade up, or the Nets. Somebody tries to trade up and get him. That's what my guess is. But if he gets to 6, I mean, again, at the whole house, it's going to be a big party.
Look, up until the trade deadline last year, they were letting Poole and Kuzma run around and do whatever the hell they want and shoot from wherever. You're not going to let a 19-year-old wunderkind do that with upside who can grow with your young core. So anyway, but I think he's going top 5. And I wish we wrote that column a day earlier for Hoops HQ than we did and got it up there before the odds changed. But what are you going to do? Hey, we thank you guys for tuning in. As always, tomorrow we got a great show planned. My friend Devin Caney, who does a lot of handicapping at BetMGM. She's also does sideline reporting for the Eagles broadcast on WIP in Philadelphia, as well as the Phillies. We're going to talk to Devin about how to play the Phillies next for the rest of the year in our fourth and long segment. Devin used to do sidelines on PLL lacrosse. PLLs, we're going to be breaking down PLL in overtime every Wednesday for the rest of their season. She'll join us with some of our PLL bets. On Thursday, Joe Madden from Sports Grid will join us. She's destroying a lot of things right now, especially the CFL, and that's a market we want to tap more into. We've got some questions on trends and things like that with Joe. She'll have some CFL plays and other stuff for us. And on Friday, Gab Goody will join us from FanDuel. Gab is immersed in Cleveland sports. We'll dig a little deeper on Guardians and Browns with her, as well as get her 3 picks of the day on Friday. So we're fired up for the rest of the week. Fired up for Gold Cup and MLB and WNBA tonight. And we hope you guys are fired up to bet with us on WannaBet.